What's going on, everybody? It is your boy Chris, man. We are here at the Work Hard, Play Harder podcast. It is January 3rd, 2024. My name is Christopher Drummond. Once again, I'm a sports reporter based out of Minnesota, covering high schools and the college. I also do sports broadcasting and also have this self-made podcast where I talk to different people, not only in the journalism field, which is my field, or in media, but also in different aspects of what they do, because it's about your profession and your why. This is the special one that's coming up here that I have as far as the guest. It's a little different from what I normally do, as far as I said, covering with media and journalism. This is someone who's an author that wrote a book called After the Badge, who co-wrote, I should say, a book After the Badge with Tania Owen. This is someone who has the CEO of Blue Cancer Connect. This is someone that has tragedy struck into her life as well. So this is someone that I wanted to talk to, get to know. She also is an advocate for law enforcement families. She's a public speaker. She does many different things. We're going to talk to her about her why to those things, talk to her about the book, her why to going into writing that, and talk about any other future projects that's going to be coming up, but also ask some fun questions as well. So without any further ado, I bring to you the wonderful, talented, the beautiful Vickie Speed. Hey,
Well,
Vickie,
hi
how you
there.
doing?
I'm really good. How are you?
I'm doing good. I'm doing good. Just want to say first off, thank you for hopping on my podcast. I really do appreciate it. And let me ask you, how was your New Year's?
Very quiet. Had a little bit of a bug, so I laid low. Got too much going on this year. Don't have time to get sick. Yeah, it
I
was
told
quiet. It was quiet, but it was good. Thank you. How about you?
Well, I worked. I worked for New Year's Eve and New Year's Day, so it was very busy, very hopping. Outside of me doing sports reporting, what I normally do, I also am a casino host, so I do
Oh,
that on the
wow.
side as well. Yes, so that was definitely quite the experience. My first time having a New Year's in a casino for sure.
Oh, wow. Now, where are you located?
So I'm located in Minnesota. It's about an hour and a half from South Dakota. So Southwest Minnesota. I'm about a couple hours from the actual Minneapolis city.
Okay.
So what I do is I cover 12 high schools and a college. I write stories, edit photos. That's what I do as a sports reporter. But the reason why I wanted to have you on here is because I was intrigued after reading kind of your profile a little bit of what you do. You're a CEO of Blue Cancer Connect. And then when I read that you co-wrote a book called After the Badge and what had transpired with what happened in 2018 with your late husband, in Mitch Speed, I was intrigued to talk to you because I wanted to talk to you to find out about that story, about why you became an author, as you co-wrote the book with Tania Owen, if I'm not mistaken, that's her name.
Yes.
Um, and also the fact that you public speak, what you do now for Blue Cancer Connect, being an advocate for law enforcement families. I'm pretty sure it was quite the process of going through what you went through with your late husband. So it intrigued me to kind of do something different. You know, I normally talk to people in the media field and journalists, but I kind of like to reach out and hear different stories as well. Because, you know, when you always focus on your genre, it gets a little old sometimes. So I like to kind of switch it up a little bit and do
Okay.
something. Um, so there's no question. I wanted to talk to you and just hear your story about what you do on a day-to-day basis, and but also ask some fun questions as well and get to know you.
Okay. Yeah. Ask me, interrupt me, anything. I'm good. My background is 30 plus years construction, project management, accounting. Did that till actually when my husband passed in 2018. It's really all I've ever known. I always say you find your calling and you become really good at it, and that's what I did. And this whole twist in my life is really new, is really it's been really incredible, honestly.
Hmm.
So I am the widow of Detective Mitch Speed from the Los Angeles County Sheriff's Department. My husband, who was actually an author and a speaker, he was an almost signed country artist. He was the one that was always out there speaking, motivating, working with the youth. very passionate about his job. He was the guy that he didn't just arrest you, he wanted to make a difference. He would check on you. I always say he arrested the worst of the worst, because he usually did specialized teams,
Right.
but he would take it a step farther and he really wanted you to get off the streets. He really wanted you to change your life. And that just kind of carried over to every part of his life. He was adopted at birth, raised by a single mom. So, he kind of had his own backstory already. Grew up very poor. So he just didn't let that become his crutch in life. Instead, I think he learned from that and it carried over into law enforcement, which I think those are some of the best cops on the streets are the ones that can relate to you, that can relate
Absolutely.
to your story. Yeah, that didn't have it easy, had it tough, had to fight their way for everything. So I always respected him. And, like I said, he actually was getting ready to get signed as a country artist. And he had this passion to become an officer. And this kind of all happened like it very quickly. His best friend who had encouraged him to follow his dreams died from leukemia very, very quickly. And he
Right.
was also a band member. So when he passed, my husband just felt like he couldn't go on without him. And all like within weeks, he had applied for the department, um, put his singing career on hold. It was kind of crazy. So that was the beginning of law enforcement, and it was a calling for him. It was where God wanted him. It was absolutely his calling, and he just lived to make a difference. So I had that example. We were married 30 years, but I had that example of a man that really led, um, just being a leader and loving people, and he was kind of a quiet man, very humble man, big guy, big cowboy, 6'3". He could hold his own. So, deep voice. So it wasn't
Yeah.
like he was a little bitty guy, but that's kind of what I saw in my life. So it was him that was living all this out. And I just worked, had a career, being a mom, doing my thing, kids are in
Mhm.
sports. And 2016, he was shockingly diagnosed with stage 4 prostate cancer. And it was 6 weeks after running Baker to Vegas. So he ran a 5.5 mile leg 6 weeks prior to being diagnosed.
Right.
Got the diagnosis, and my husband was an incredible man of God. We are people of faith. And he walked out the door and he said, "We're going to ask God to use us, and we're not going to ask him why, and we're never going to look back." And that was really the beginning of our journey for 26 months. So for the next 26 months, my husband, as crazy as this is, he started a walking group. So, like I would tell him, "You're like this prophet. You're like this." There would be like officers in uniform, complete strangers. It was like this big social media thing, like, "Oh my God, when's Mitch walking? You should go." So we would all laugh, but he really, looking back, he took this 26 months, not just to battle cancer, he really made it about trying to change the world in that 26 months, trying to encourage other people, bring people to Christ. He never wanted cancer to be front and center. He never wanted um, people to feel sorry for him. He would always, he kind of became this social media phenom, and he wrote a book, Mitch Speed, The Man Behind the Badge, which is still available on Amazon. My little plug there.
Mm.
I re-released it after he passed and put some more of his writings in there. And I've actually just very recently been blessed that the publishers in Nashville have released his music library to me. So I'm
Wow.
hoping in 2024 to be able to re-release his music, and use that money to go towards Blue Cancer Connect and helping officers. So that was really the example he set for me. So when he died, my first question was, what do I do with myself? I knew I didn't want to go back to work right away. I knew I was going to take a year off. So I had put in for a year's leave. My bosses were fine with it, totally supported it. And I really was
Sure.
kind of lost. I was a little bit lost in that year. Don't remember a lot. It's kind of crazy what grief does to you. I completely lost my short-term memory. So I really couldn't, I was struggling just to remember, did I eat? I couldn't even tell you like what time I woke up this morning. I couldn't
Wow.
even tell you what I did in the last 2 hours. So I was trying to fight my way through that, and there's no book on grief. I tell people that. They just, tell you, hey, there's a lot of get over it or move on. Or so it began my journey, and I felt very compelled to write a book. So it was with myself and a co-author. And the book was really about marriage and our journey on grief. Her husband was executed in the line of duty. Our husbands worked
Right.
together and knew each other. And I just, for a long time, I felt like there was more. And in 2022, I started doing peer support for law enforcement, and I got certified through the Wounded Blue. And
Okay.
it really kind of changed things for me. It opened my eyes, and I just had this burning desire in my heart, like, I just kept saying, God, where do you want me? I just don't feel like I'm living out Mitch's legacy, because it was starting, it was starting to become very political. And we were in the George Soros area, and he, all of that was on the news. And I knew like my husband would fight and vote for that, but that wasn't what he stood for.
Right.
And honestly, I knew it was cancer. I was just kind of running from it and trying to avoid it.
Hmm.
So in September, October of 22, in the middle of the night, you have to be a believer to believe all this, but God woke me up and he said, write down Blue Cancer Connect. And I wrote it down. I had no idea what it meant.
Mm.
Wrote it down the next morning. I thought I was dreaming. I saw it on the counter, didn't even register. I just left it there.
Okay.
And things just started happening, and I knew in my heart it was time. I knew in my heart it was cancer. I'd known that since he died. I just was really didn't want to face it. I felt like it was too painful.
Right.
And in November of 22, I got a phone call from some old partners of my husband's who now were lieutenants, and they said, we have a young officer with double stage 4 cancer. Would you be willing to talk to his family and help? And I wasn't doing anything at this time, and no one knew what I was up to. So, of course, I said absolutely. So I went to an event where they were raising money. The officer was there. It was one of our young deputies. Met his mom, met his sisters, and I remember I had my sunglasses on, and I had tears rolling down my face.
Okay.
And I think it hit me then just how real cancer is. I hadn't really had to face it. I didn't know anybody with it. If you had cancer, I kind of stayed away from you. I just didn't feel like I was emotionally ready. And in that moment, I realized there's a lot of law enforcement officers that need help. And my husband was gone and he wasn't coming back. And our journey was over. And it had been about 3 years at this point, and I just told myself it's time. Like, it's not about you anymore, and you have every tool to help. At the time, he was 28, this young 28-year-old deputy who's fighting for his life, whose mom has no clue what to do. Um, and I knew then. So I wiped my tears and I kind of stepped away and I went home and I thought, I don't know where I go from here, but I'm going to do this. It's time and I'm doing it. So that was the beginning of just this complete snowball of ideas. Thanking God all the way. So
Sure.
March 28th of this year was my husband's 58th birthday, and that's when I launched Blue Cancer Connect in his honor. And it has been just an absolute whirlwind. It's happened quick. It's happened fast. I thought it was going to be in here in Southern California. And then you discover the need. You discover we don't have anything like this for law enforcement. It's just a huge missing piece on the health and wellness side. And once I
Sure.
started, I think really understanding the magnitude of what I had just walked into, I kind of dusted myself off and I thought, you know what? I don't know what this is going to look like, but I'm doing it and I'm jumping in with both feet. So here I am.
I love that. I really do. And that's an awesome, awesome like introduction story. And like I said, I want to read the book after the badge. Hopefully I can get that. Even Mitch's book. That'd be great. I'm glad you dropped that plug so people can go cop that. But I definitely would love to have both of those copies because your story was very intriguing. There's a few things I want to touch up on while you said that. The first thing is you say you was 30 years in construction. Wow. That is quite some time to be in construction. Did you always know that you wanted to be in construction, or was there any other profession that you wanted to pursue?
No, I grew up in an era where your parents really didn't tell you to go to college, go to school. It was when you turned 18, you better figure out what you're doing because you're not staying here.
Okay.
So, no, I really had no clue. And it was a complete fluke. I got a phone call one day from a friend. I actually got hired as a receptionist. That's where I started in construction.
Mhm.
And I love numbers. I'm a math girl. So I kind of just actually quickly moved up. And by like probably my early 20s, I was already, running companies and I just became just addicted to it. I love math. I love numbers. I love when you see like profits and it's just me.
Mm.
So, as time went on, you kind of tap out on the accounting side. Like there's only so high you can go and then that's it. And I don't
Sure.
want to say I was bored, but I was challenged to get into the project management side. And that's really the planning, the building, I had no experience in it, but I had some great bosses and they offered me a position and they said if you want it, we'll teach you, but you literally are going to have to jump in with both feet. And I was always up for a challenge. So I thought, you know what, they're going to help me. They're, extremely successful. They've done this their whole life. So I move into my new office and they literally walked in and threw a book probably 10 inches thick on my desk and they said, "Here's your first project. You better figure it out." And
Okay.
sometimes sometimes that's good. So that got me started. But what I realized was, I was working in a man's world and you really didn't see girls and females on this side. But I had this edge because I understood money and I understood dollars. Whereas when you have men in the construction side, they can read plans, they can build things, they know what material costs, but they don't see the other side. Well, they taught me everything. So I
Right.
think as a female, it gave me such a great edge over men because I knew things like that only an owner would know.
Okay.
So, yeah, so I became a force to be reckoned with in a man's world, but I think what I realized is it was really preparing me for what I'm doing right now. It was preparing me to own this nonprofit, to be a business owner. It's a tough world out there. You got to be very thick skinned. You're up against a lot of men in law enforcement and health and wellness. And I really relate it to that. So I feel very blessed that that is the background in my life. I think it's really helped me immensely.
I like that. I would love to know because you said that you once again co-wrote a book with Tania Owen. How long did it take you to decide to write this book, and how long did it take you to write the book or co-write the book with Tania? Because obviously, it's a process to write a book. It really is. You got to know what you're trying to put in. You got to know just basically what you want to talk about, right? And you had just bounced off what you said, Mitch's book, and you're trying to kind of have a continuation almost of your book. So, what was the process like of coming to the decision? Hey, I'm going to write a book, and how long was the process of writing a book?
Well, Tanya and myself had been asked to give our testimonials in January of 2019. And we had no idea what to expect. We didn't even really know each other that well. And we
Mhm.
thought, you know what? Why not? Well, there were over 500 people at this event.
Wow,
And we were so shocked. And they kept asking, you've got to keep speaking. You've got, because we really got into the rawness and ugliness of our lives and our marriage and what grief looks like. We didn't hold back. We didn't keep any secrets.
sure.
So it was October of 19 that we thought, how I remember we said, how do we reach the masses? You write a book. And we were very blessed to have found a publisher. Total, I mean, if you don't believe in God, you should follow my life. Found the most incredible publisher. She agreed to do our book. We now we're in COVID, so now it's February of 20.
Okay.
COVID is just beginning.
Yep.
Everything starts shutting down, and we have nothing but time. So our book was actually printed and ready to be distributed that October.
Wow. Okay, I like that. And are you from California originally?
I am a Southern California girl. I am.
Okay,
Yes.
okay. Me
Yeah.
too. I'm from San Diego, so that's where
Oh,
I'm
okay.
from.
Oh, love San Diego.
Absolutely, absolutely. And you're in the Los Angeles area, correct?
Correct. I'm just north of LA. Correct.
Got you, got you. Yes, I have family still out there. Obviously, one of my favorite places to be at. Let me transition to this real quick, and it's favorite things. Okay, so I like to ask all the guests to come on here some favorite questions,
Okay.
and to tell me some of the favorite things that you from these questions, I should say. Okay, are you with me?
I'm with you.
All right, let's do it. Favorite meal you like to cook?
Italian.
Okay, are we talking chicken Alfredo? We talking
Spaghetti.
ziti?
Spaghetti is my staple.
Okay, I like that. All right, so spaghetti, I like that. Okay, favorite concert you've ever attended?
Oh, my first concert, Journey and Loverboy.
Wow, Journey. Okay,
Yeah.
I love me some Journey. Don't Stop Believing, probably one of my favorite songs of
And I'm
theirs.
aging myself, but that was my very first concert. Yep.
That's okay. That's all right. Journey's a classic band. That's okay. I like that. Favorite place you've ever traveled to?
Ooh.
Oh, that's a good question. It got you thinking, Vicky.
Well, I love Chicago. I've been there a lot. I love it, but I love Mexico.
Hmm.
Cancun's kind of a staple. So probably Cancun.
One of my favorite trips was Cabo San Lucas. So I'm with you there on
Yeah.
Mexico. No
Just
question about
very
it.
R&R, kickback, great food, great. Yeah.
It's a great atmosphere. I'm a water person, so the pool, and just everything was great. I love that when I went out there for sure. Okay, let me ask you this. This is a two-part question, Vicky. Favorite sport you like to watch on TV, and favorite sport you like to attend in person?
Probably going to be football on both.
Okay,
I've
okay.
learned to well, I have boys in my house. Grew up with a brother, my husband, my son. It was always basketball, football. I'm not a basketball fan. I've learned to enjoy football, but I love going to the stadiums. I love seeing new stadiums. I love watching like all the teams. I'm a Broncos fan. I'm kind of embarrassed to say that right now,
Ooh.
but yeah, I that's probably my favorite.
Yeah, they in a rough situation with that quarterback and that head coach right now, Vicky. It's pretty rough, but uh,
I don't see him being around, so we'll see.
yeah, that's unfortunate with that. I'm a Chargers fan, so I'm also a little embarrassed to say that because again, I grew up in San Diego, which where they was prior to them moving to Los Angeles. So I totally understand that. I really do.
Now, have
Um,
you been to SoFi Stadium?
I have not. That's actually one of my bucket list things to do. I definitely want to look at the schedule next year. I saw my Chargers play in Minnesota here because I'm in Minnesota now. But I want to go to SoFi. So I'm actually going to look at the schedule next year and see if I can get out there. And if I am out there in the LA area, I definitely got to say hello to you. There's no
Oh,
question about
absolutely, absolutely.
it. No doubt. Last of the favorites. Favorite restaurant to eat at. And there's a lot of good ones out there in LA.
I'm Mexican food. Give me
Okay.
Mexican food. Yep.
Okay, so hold on. So if we're going to a Mexican restaurant, what is Vicky ordering? Because there's roll tacos, there's carne asada,
I'm
there's
a I'm a taco girl. Taco,
taco.
rice, beans, salad,
Okay,
chips,
okay.
guac. Yep. I'm easy. I'm an easy. Yep. I'm easy.
I like that.
That's
No,
I
that's
love
awesome.
the tacos.
Tacos are very good. I'm a steak taco person. I like steak tacos. That's just me.
Okay.
So
Okay.
yeah, absolutely steak. Beef is good, but steak is my favorite for sure. Okay, I like that. Let me ask you what you do on a day-to-day basis with the Blue Cancer Connect. I would love to know, like from a day-to-day or maybe a week-to-week basis, since you started that, what is your day-to-day impact with starting that company?
Well, the most important thing coming out of the gate was I wanted to find out really where I fit and where what my partnerships look like. One of my biggest partnerships is with the City of Hope. They love our law enforcement. They have embraced me. That's where my husband got his treatment at. and they've been amazing. And now they're in 5 states, so it opened things up really quickly for me. They bought out the Cancer Center Treatments of America, so that's my biggest partner. And what I really started thinking about when I launched this was, how do I help completely? I call it A to Z. How do I do everything? And I had to look at what we went through. It's
Right.
not just cancer in a diagnosis. For a law enforcement officer, it's, does your department cover it? Which, now you're taking on workers' comp, and your time off of work, your financially, how are you going to make it? That's a huge one. Um, there's a lot of moving pieces to this. So I just looked at our journey, and I wanted partnerships. So City of Hope was my first. And then from there, I found Camp Kesem. It is a camp for children whose parents are battling cancer. It's a
Wow.
free camp. It's amazing. It's nationwide. They are one of my partners. New York Life writes cancer policies for me. Well, who's the other one? The Dream Foundation gives end of life dreams to adults.
Okay.
So they do it for me, it's law enforcement and veterans, which I love. So we've been able to utilize that. It's very sad, but unfortunately, with cancer, death is involved in this.
Sure.
We have a partnership with a medical supplier with hospice. We have relationships with doctors. This goes to the early diagnosis side and the education piece. We have doctors that actually will open up their schedule to get our officers in to get physicals.
Right.
They don't have time to take care of themselves. So I actually have direct cell numbers to doctors. Whatever your insurance is, we try and get you in on your day off, and they work with you. So that's been amazing. We have doctors that do educational classes with the City of Hope. So really where I spend my time and my focus is, I go to departments and I usually speak at briefings or training days, and I try and educate you on cancer, what it looks like. It's ugly. You can die. It's not a game. It's not and unfortunately, our officers are, it's a crappy time to be a cop. Let's just call it for what it is. They're
Right.
overworked, they're underpaid. They don't have time to take care of themselves. They barely have time to be home. So, what can we do to educate you where you realize you do need to get in for a screening, or you do need to get in to see a doctor? There's something going on, and to bring that awareness. And the response has actually been really good with that. And with City of Hope, it's a 4.5 month wait right now if you have a cancer diagnosis to be seen. Yeah,
Wow.
cancer is definitely on the rise. We have got a officer's wife in as quick as 22 hours. She was very critical, double stage 4, 39 years old. So I think the longest we've had to wait for one of our officers is 2 weeks.
Okay.
And they've just, and that's what we're looking for. And that was my question. How can you help me um, get our officers in, kind of give them a little bit of red carpet, because they take care of us. They're out there serving our communities. What can we do to get back to them? So those are the partnerships I continue to look for, and they've been amazing. Everybody's been amazing. We are nationwide. We're in 10 states already,
Okay.
unfortunately, because we have a lot of officers. They're all stage 4.
Right.
We have had our first officer actually with LAPD go back to work. He actually is very involved with Blue Cancer Connect. So he's stage 2 and he's been in remission for a year.
That's
And
amazing to hear.
that's what we want to see. We want to get our officers diagnosed to where you do go back to work and you do finish your career. And yes, you kind of have cancer hanging over your head. We all know that. It's screenings every 3 months, 6 months, a year, but there's hope. And that's really what this is about, is giving families hope in a very difficult time. And, I learned that on my own journey. We kind of lived in that. We lived in hope, and we lived in, I knew my husband was going to beat it. It never occurred to me he was going to die from this.
Right.
And, when you live it, it's a little bit different. When you see what it does, it's a little bit different. And I think I've been put in a position that I can actually share with you what it looks like to watch your spouse die. And, you have a decision with cancer. You either want that, or you really do want to try and take care of yourself. And So I always say, when you bring me in, it's not a pretty conversation. It's kind of a scare the shit out of you conversation. And that's really what cancer is and how it has to be, because we don't talk about it. We don't,
Right.
people avoid the C word. I think it's anybody. So I'm so blessed to do this. I'm so blessed to be doing something to give back, and to be able to share my journey and to share, people know I lost my husband, but what if we can slow it down? Or what if we could, I don't know that we'll ever be able to stop cancer, but what if we can slow this down? What if
Right.
we can get our officers to actually finish their career and enjoy their retirements, and beat cancer? I mean, how beautiful would that be? So that's really the goal.
No, I love hearing that answer, Vickie. I really do. And again, I'm talking to Vickie Speed, someone who's CEO of Blue Cancer Connect, author of After the Badge, here on my podcast, Work Hard, Play Harder. Um, I love that answer. I really do. Because, like you said, it's unfortunate it did not save your husband, but you are saving other officers, right? By giving them the knowledge that they need, by talking about it. It's going to be a difficult conversation. We know that. Cancer is always difficult. Yes, people don't want to hear that. And that's one of the reasons why they avoid it, because they don't want to possibly hear that they may have it, right? But if you don't hear about it, you don't inform yourself, or enlighten yourself that you may have it, or use those necessary tools to be able to get yourself checked out. Something devastating could happen to you. So yeah, it is a scare that out of you. There's no question. You got to be scared a little bit, right? But to be scared, you also got to be willing to go through the process to try to beat it as well. And a lot of
Right.
people they're informed and they know that they have it. They will go through that to be able to try to, right? So we need more people like you. You said a couple things here that caught my eye. Overworked officers. There's no question about it. Right now, there's just not enough police officers out there. And there's a lot of good police officers out there. I think the stigma of police officers have changed over the years, obviously with some of the things that's been transpiring in the media with them. But there's so many good officers out there in the world. I wish there was more. That we need more people like you to have these different kind of organizations, right? Nonprofit organizations as well. But this leads me to a question, Vickie, of mental health. Because when you see a lot of death around you, it can affect your mental health, especially someone that you were very close to. You say you were married for 30 years, right? You lose somebody like that, it's devastating. There's no question, there's no other word to use. And when you see other families going through it, it also could be devastating as well. How do you maintain good mental health being around this type of subject of cancer?
There's a couple things. Right out of the gate, I went to therapy. I
Okay.
stay in therapy. I go every month. I feel that if I'm not whole and I'm not strong, I can't help people. I do still have some struggles. I went to my first funeral about a month ago, and it was actually someone that worked with my husband. It was a little bit difficult to walk in. And I realized then how important it is for me to stay in therapy, just keep myself in check. I'm kind of a workout fanatic. I tell people that's my drug, that's my alcohol, that's my pizza. If I don't do it, I about day 4, depression sets in pretty bad. I've never had depression. I didn't have it until my husband died. Didn't
Right.
even know what it was. So I knew working out was kind of a staple for me. So I went back to that. Faithfully go. I don't miss. I don't. If I'm working out of town, I walk, I do something.
Sure.
And I actually, this is crazy, and it's not like for any reason, I actually stopped drinking.
Okay.
And the piece of that was, as I'm getting educated with cancer, that connection between alcohol and cancer, it kind of scares you a little bit. And I think for me, I think to make an impact and to go out there and kind of preach this sermon, you have to be walking the walk and talking the talk. And
Without question.
I
Yeah.
have to be living it. So I tell myself, if you're out of shape, what are you doing for yourself? If you're out drinking every night, what are you doing for prevention? What are you and then people obviously know, coming off of grief is these officers see their partners die. These
Right.
officers, see dead people. They see this kind of on a daily. um I want to show them you can pull out of this. I'll never be the person I was before my husband died, and you become a new person, but you learn to embrace that, and you learn it's okay. I actually love who I'm becoming. It looks completely different than when I was married to my husband, but it is part of grief, it is part of healing, it is part of the process. So that's another piece that I want people to see is you can come out the other side. You can so I think God really kind of put me in this place of I call it tragedy. You know, I had to have all this tragedy to be able to do what I'm doing. But
Right.
I also want people to look at my life and go, wow, she's living it. Dang. Okay, she's not just preaching it, she's living it. And that's important to me.
I love your candidness. I really do appreciate it. No doubt about it. Obviously, therapy does help
Mhm.
with mental health. So, for me personally, I like to be able to call, check up on my family. I don't have any family here in Minnesota, so for me, my mental health is very important. Like you said, working out is important. I like to go to the Y, work out a little bit. I do like to walk at times. We have trails here, so I like to walk. I like to do that. Just kind of I like to actually kind of just talk to myself a little bit. And I don't know if you're a big advocate of that, but when I go outside, it's like I'm having a conversation with the Lord almost, right? And just be able to have a conversation, just talk about the day, try to let out some frustrations, maybe let out some good things, because it's just more peaceful for me to do that, right? I feel that obviously you talked about drinking, and I appreciate you sharing that. I've dealt with that within my family. Um, Grief has definitely overcame them with alcohol, or alcohol overcame them, I should say. And then they got to a point where they were tired of it and it stopped in their life because someone passed away that they loved. Like you said, you'll never be the person that you once was, but doesn't mean you can't reinvent yourself and become something even better, almost, or different. Maybe not better, but different, right? So I do appreciate that. No question. Now we came to the portion of the podcast now, Vickie, where we're now going to do this or that. Now, basically, what I do is I throw two things at you, and what you do is you choose either one, this or that. Are you with me?
I'm with you.
Okay, well, let's rock. Let's do this.
Okay.
Popeyes or KFC?
KFC.
Okay, I like that. This question has to do with chicken wings. Do you eat chicken wings, by the way?
Yes.
Okay, I just want to make sure. Some people are vegetarians, so you never know. Okay, let's rock with it. Barbecue or lemon pepper?
Barbecue.
Okay, bone in or boneless?
Boneless.
Oh, okay. Now I know we could definitely be friends, Vickie, because I'm a boneless type of guy. I'm a boneless type of guy. Okay, I got you. Which sport would you rather play, badminton or bowling?
Ooh. Badminton.
Ooh, you said ooh to that question. Are you
I
not a
was
good
thinking
bowler?
I wanted to say neither one.
are you not a good bowler?
No, I'm terrible. I'm a
Okay,
terrible bowler.
okay. Well, at least you're honest. Do you need the bumpers on to bowl?
Pretty much.
Ooh. Okay, that's okay. I appreciate the honesty. That's probably one thing we can't do then, bowling. That's for sure. Okay, I'll go to the next question. Here we go. This has to do with music. Which music concert would you rather go see? Would you rather go see Kiss or Def Leppard?
Yes.
Oh, okay. All right, I like that. Next one, music. Which one would you rather see? Would you rather see Queen or Aerosmith?
Ooh.
Well, that got you thinking a little bit. That means it's good.
I like them both.
Yeah,
I
I
like
do
them
too.
both.
They're pretty good.
Yeah, I like them both.
Okay,
I'm gonna plead the fifth on that one.
okay. Here's what I'll ask: which one is 51% and which one is 49%?
Queen's 51.
Okay, I like that. Now, do you have a favorite Queen song?
No, I just like them. I've
You like
always
them
liked
all?
them.
Okay,
Yeah.
I like that. I like it too. Okay, that was pretty good. Which sport would you rather watch on TV? Basketball or baseball?
Neither.
Neither one.
Mm-mm.
Okay, if you had, we're gonna go 51-49 again, Vickie. Which one would you rather see, 51% or 49%?
Basketball 51.
Okay, I got you. I got you on that. All right. Which this next question has to do again with music. Which artist would you rather pay to see? Beyonce or Taylor Swift?
Neither.
Oh, you said neither.
There's a neither. There's no 51 on that one. Yeah,
Oh
I
my
would I
gosh.
wouldn't I wouldn't pay to see either one of them.
Oh my goodness. I think you're the first person that's ever said that. Oh man. Neither on Beyonce or Taylor. Are you just not a fan of them or the genre or just the them?
I mean they're okay. I don't like the ticket prices. I don't think it's worth all that.
Sure.
Yeah, not a
Okay.
fan. Just not a fan.
Okay. No, I feel it. I feel it. I'm just shocked. I just haven't heard that response before. I like it though. That's all right. We got two more of the this or that. Uh, MJ, or I should say this: football wise, Peyton Manning or Tom Brady.
Well, Manning because I'm Broncos, but Tom Brady because he's smoking hot. I'm just gonna be honest.
I don't know a woman that does not think
Yeah,
that of
every
Tom
girl
Brady.
is gonna tell you that.
Right. Every woman's gonna tell you that of Tom Brady, no doubt about it. I like the fact you went with Manning though first. I like that. Okay, I like that. Okay. Last of the this or that. Which restaurant would you go to, or would you rather eat at? Would you rather eat at a Red Lobster, or would you rather eat at a Ruth Chris?
Ruth Chris.
Ruth Chris. Okay, I like that. Is there a particular steak that you like? Ribeye, sirloin?
I'm a ribeye bone in.
Okay, I like that. Now you won me back over. You didn't say much with the bowling and Beyonce, but now you won me back over with the steak. I
Okay.
like that. I like that. That's cool. I'm with it. Okay. What advice would you give to people that's dealing with grief? And what's also some advice that someone has gave you that you hold dearly to your heart?
Best advice given to me was by my husband right before he passed. We had that conversation.
Okay.
It didn't make sense at the time, but I believe I'm living it now. He told me to let my purpose be bigger than my pain.
Wow.
That is the life I'm living right now. And I think he set me up for that. And now I completely understand it.
I like that. So would that be the same line that you would give to others that are dealing with grief and pain like that?
Um, I don't know out of the gate that that makes sense. I think what I try and tell people is give yourself grace, learn to shut the outside noise out. Everyone's got great grief advice, but the problem is they haven't been through it. And grief looks different for all of us. No two people go through the same thing. It looks
Sure.
completely different. We
Mhm.
deal with it different, we process it different. I think for me, I've always been a very, very strong, independent girl. It actually just crumbled me, and I didn't think it would be like that. So I learned it can happen to anybody. It's a pain you've never felt in your life, nor, I pray I never feel it again.
Sure.
But it's give yourself a lot of grace, be patient with yourself, and just be really careful who you surround yourself with.
I like that. I really do. That is, you gave terrific answers all podcast long. And that one is another great answer for sure. Um, I want to ask, these final two questions that I have. This next question is about two people, right? And I want you to name two other people that you think would be great to talk to on this podcast, and help me invite them on
Oh gosh, you just caught me off guard.
here.
I'm gonna have to think about that one.
Okay, no, that's
Uh,
okay. Now, I normally
well,
catch somebody off guard
most
with a
people
question.
I know are like in the career field. I'm actually gonna have to think about that one.
No, that's cool. That's fine. And listen, definitely get back to me on the
Yeah, I'll
DM,
get back to you on that one.
no doubt. And I always ask this as we wrap up. Is there anything else you would like to add before we conclude? Maybe some goals that you have for this year as far as your organization goes, or just maybe some final thoughts?
Yes, I do. I think, people ask for support, donations, why my nonprofit is so great. I think one thing I've realized in the last 10 months is we don't talk about it, but with cancer, our officers are drowning financially, and they're being put in a place where not only are they battling cancer and facing death, but they're leaving their families behind in a just really horrific financial situation. And I thank God my husband and I were in a different place, but most spouses don't work. I'm very grateful I did have a career and I was able to do that. One of the things with Blue Cancer Connect that I think is so important is we do have a program, and it's to honor the life of one of our SEB officers who died from brain cancer. It's a financial assistance program that we have,
Mm,
and it's been incredible. I would just encourage people to please consider becoming a monthly donor, whether it's $10 a month, $25 a month, a one-time donation. Um, we really change lives. I do not take a salary from this. Right now, 100% of this money is completely going to our officers. I'm sure as we grow, this might change a little bit, but I will never become one of those nonprofits where, you hear, I'll say it like the Red Cross, 10 cents is given back and 90 cents is for administration costs. We need to help our officers. They need help and they are drowning financially when they are in the middle of a cancer diagnosis. And one of my sayings is our officers deserve better. And I do believe that. So there's a lot of work to do. There's a lot of political work to do in this to fight for more rights for them when they are in a cancer battle, for departments to recognize it, to pick it up, for the benefits to be better. That's a
right,
huge piece of this, but that's a long road. We're already in it. We've already started, but
right.
that's a very long road. But in this immediate minute, I would just encourage people to please consider, when you're looking to either dump money at the end of the year or something to donate to. I don't even care if it's $5 a month, it makes a difference. The
Sure.
website is bluecancerconnect.org. You can actually read my story, read my husband's story. We have testimonials on there. If you are an officer and you do need assistance, or you are looking for information or education or a second opinion, or you just have questions and you don't know where to turn for cancer, there's forms on there to fill out. We respond within 24 hours. We have peer support. We have a chaplain.
Okay.
So we're fully equipped. But yeah, don't be afraid to get involved. We have a lot of people that have gotten involved out of state that want to just share the word, that just want to share what Blue Cancer Connect is, that want to go to their local department and bring pamphlets or give them this information. So anything that you need is on there. But like I said, I would even encourage you to read my husband's book. It is very, very motivational. It will help you kind of put your life in check. It's very personal. He was a very deep man. I actually am writing a book with my husband that will be out later this year. It's a
Wow.
book,
Okay.
yeah, it's a book on hope for many areas of your life. And I felt very compelled. He has so many writings still, and I knew I wanted to do another book, but it is going to be with him. So I'm pretty excited about probably about three-quarters of the way done. So hopefully this fall it'll be out.
Hmm. Well, definitely let me know when that drops.
I
No
will.
question
I
about
will.
that. That is a great, great way to end the podcast. Learned a lot about you. Learned about Blue Cancer Connect, your story, your husband, obviously Mitch. He seems like an incredible man, or was an incredible
Yes.
man. No question about
Yes.
that. I love what you're doing for families and being an advocate for cancer. Talking about your organization, talking about donations, just helping out, period, because officers do need help. There's no question about it. Um, like we said, they're overworked, sometimes even in some cases or most cases underpaid too. So
Correct.
I'm glad that you got your message out. I'm glad you got your story out, and I'm glad that you hopped on here. It's been a pleasure talking to you, Vickie. It really has. And I look forward to talking to you in the future. You enjoy the rest of your Wednesday, and we will be in touch.
Absolutely. Thank you again. I really appreciate your time. Keep up the great work. Love what you're doing.
I appreciate it, Vickie. You take care now, okay?
Okay. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year. Why do I have